We're surprised that Jesus is born in Bethlehem. We're surprised that he's born in a cave or, surrounded by animals. While they were there, it says the time came for her to give birth. She gave birth to her firstborn son, wrapped him tightly in cloths, laid him in a manger because there was no guest room available for them. Now, a lot of energy has been spent in recent times trying to understand what this word kataluma means. Sometimes it's translated guest room. It's kind of interesting. The old commentaries all make the argument why inn is a good translation. The newer commentaries make the argument that no, it's just a side room in the house that was not available for them. Whatever the case, we have really good reason to be confident that the place where the Church of the Nativity is over the cave where Jesus was born. Jerome, when he translated the Latin Vulgate, the Greek New Testament into the Latin, the Vulgate, he was writing in those caves, and it was because they had identified, even within the 2nd century, in the 100s, people were visiting that place as the place where Jesus was born. Whatever the case, the bottom line is still the same. The Son of God was born away from home, surrounded by animals, and placed in an animal feeding trough. It was probably about 4 feet long, 1.5 feet wide, a couple of feet deep. And it would have been rough and cold and dirty and filled with animal hair. I was thinking about that recently. Thinking about a time when I was in college. I traveled for our school, and we would sing at different churches on the weekends. And this one weekend, we were in southern Indiana. I thought we were in a suburb, but I think much of Indiana apparently is farm people. The place where he said, really nice people, but they had animals in the house. They had dogs in the house. And that was fine. They were wonderful dogs. I didn't realize how much they loved their dogs, though, when it came time for me to go to bed. They showed me the room where I was staying. I pulled back the covers to discover, this is where the dog sleeps at night, because the sheets were covered with dog hair. I don't mean a couple of errant dog hairs. I mean, it looked like a dog hair carpet. It was gross. It was nasty. I was thankful it wasn't a cat that had been on there. But and I was thinking, oh man. And so fortunately I had towels, and so you can tell the trauma this affected me, the fact that I'm remembering this so many years later. And so I put a towel on the sheets where I'm going to lie down, and I slept like this all night long. It was not one of the most restful nights in my life. You know what? I felt like I deserved a better place. I felt like they should have cleaned the sheets before they gave me the bed. The Son of God comes into the world, and I like to picture a manger that's been Lysoled, that has been cleaned up nicely. Any way you look at it, it is a cold wooden manger, which means it's the place where animals slobber to get their food. It would have been filled with animal hair. I was too good. I really felt like I deserved better. But aren't you glad the Son of Man was not too good to make a manger his first resting place? He owned the cattle on 1,000 hills, the wealth in every mine, but he wasn't too proud to make a cave his home. And again, aren't you glad? Because it just reminds us of the strength of God. I got to thinking this past week, can you see God's power, God's strength in the manger? See, we get offended when we're disrespected. We feel hurt when we don't get the appreciation we feel we deserve. We feel victimized if we're not treated justly. But Jesus chose a cave in a manger. Jesus chose humility. He chose unfairness. He chose not to be treated the way that he was entitled. And it's not so he could play the victim card. It's not so that he could go around saying, I'm so special because I'm among the weak. It was because he was so strong. We feel entitled to good treatment because we're weak. I feel entitled to be respected because I'm insecure. But we see Jesus in the grave, in the cave, and we see the strength of God. So the next time you feel like your dignity is undermined because you don't get just treatment, you feel like your joy is being robbed because other people have more than you, can I encourage you, go back to the manger, go back to we admire Jesus for this. We see his strength in it. Isn't it interesting how Jesus came into the world